It's showtime. Y'all come in here, get this work. Let this light down a little bit. Good evening, people. Subscribe to the channel as y'all come in here. Please do. And depending on how this conversation goes, I might open up the hotline tonight. But we'll see how it goes. Good evening, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Frank, what up? Share this joint, yo. Oh, man, I see somebody in my comments talking about, Gully, I got an unbiased ear, too. We gonna talk about that. Yeah, that's a Michael Red joint, man. Y'all don't know nothing about that left-handed killer. Y'all don't know nothing about that left-handed killer from Ohio State. Y'all don't. Oh, man. No, because Biggie did a record with the Brat. Raekwon did a record with Outkast. That was later. Jay did a record with Silk the Shocker. Oh, boy. This is going to be a dandy. Y'all like the video as y'all come in here. Frank, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's funny that we're gonna have this this talk about the Source Awards, and Big Gipp was mentioned in my last live stream, and I think I got some clarity I want to share with y'all. Yep. East Coast fans never hated, only industry folks. Kevin Smith, appreciate your super chat. Subscribe to the channel. I received my trifecta today. Very professional. Make sure you take 2 capsules a day, every day, and make sure you apply some type of fitness because you want to test this shit. You know what I'm saying? I promised y'all that it's a herbal cocktail that enhances stimulation, circulation, stamina, circulation, and of course your libido. And that's due to the circulation, but you want to make sure your heart is pumping, man. Make sure that blood is pumping throughout the body, man. Producing some new white blood cells and all of that. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Y'all come in here, man. I appreciate that super chat. I hope I said your name. I believe I did. But hit the like button. He said cardio is important. Very important. Very important. The most important muscle in your body is, of course, the heart. Don't forget that. Boom, boom, boom. Was Goody Mob big enough to get a feature in '95? I don't think Goody Mob popped until, it might have been the winter of '95, the fall of '95. Yeah, that's around the time that they came out. Frank, I appreciate your super chat. Running, biking, lifting. You see the results. You see the results. I came here to share that with y'all. This is gonna become my new ministry. Whenever I'm on here, y'all gonna get some of this. It's always been hip hop, sports, and fashion, but y'all gonna get this holistic healing and this information, so we could save some lives and shit. Not only that, I'm gonna start being a lot more transparent with the gentlemen who follow me and shit. You dig? New Orleans and New York City are connected in so many ways. Big Apple, Big Easy, Katrina right after the music goes deep in the South. That sounded clever. He said, not at all, Gipp is bugging. I don't know. I did some research before I got on here, and I looked up some things. I looked up some dates and some times. And when I pulled up the Source Awards incident, Outkast definitely got booed. That's disrespect. That would lead to some resentment, some long-term resentment. They definitely got booed. And when Andre 3000 took the stage and he said, the South got something to say, that's all I got to say. I looked at the picture. The picture is in the thumbnail that I used for this video. I looked at the thumbnail and I said, damn, That's Gipp right behind him. That was Gipp directly behind him, standing directly behind him. So, based on that experience, I could understand the resentment, so to speak. But that video that I put out talking about the Atlanta has a biased ear when it comes to hip hop, almost 500 comments. When you get 500 comments in just a few days, that means this is a hell of a discussion. So shout out to the Dribble for bringing that to the table. Hell of a discussion. And I got some input from all over the map in regards to the Prodigy and Andre 3000 comparison. I got some great feedback. It was kind of even for a minute until the cities outside of Atlanta and New York started to chime in, at which point it looked to me as if Mobb Deep kind of won a comparison. I'm being for real. And it wasn't the South and the North that engineered this outcome. It was outside places. It was places outside of Atlanta and New York. It was places like Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago, Charlotte, North Carolina, even the West Coast and Florida had a lot to say on the topic. You got a lot of people who moved around. It was guys who are born in the South who moved up north, just living in New York City, Buffalo, New York, Jersey. Then you got people who was born up in the Northeast, New York, Jersey, Philly, who was raised in the South, who moved to the South. So you got some people who live both places, and they gave some very interesting takes on it. You know what I'm saying? So check it out, right? I gave it some thought after reading the comments, and there was people who wanted to help me understand why there might be some resentment between Atlanta and New York, the East Coast. And I seen it in the comments. Niggas was saying, oh, you don't remember? They booed them niggas at the Source Awards. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right. I interviewed Dave Mays too, who ran the Source Awards. Whole lot of monkey shit went down that night. You had Suge attacking Diddy. You had the East Coast booing everybody. They booed Outkast, and Snoop Dogg felt that they weren't received correctly because he had to say, y'all don't love us. Y'all don't love us. So it was a lot going on that night. It was a lot going on that night, and here we are probably 35, 40 years later, and you still got some people who feel some type of way about what happened that night. And I thought that was, I'm like, damn, there's some strong feelings behind this shit. I don't think they were ever issued an apology. I don't think Outkast was ever issued an apology for that. And I didn't understand why they was booed, because Outkast is live, yo. Outkast's debut album is classic. You got Ain't No Thing But a Chicken Wing. You got Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something, which was very informative. Some of the raps that came from Outkast, you would think that them niggas had knowledge of self. I'm pretty sure that they were exposed to it. Maybe the 5% Nation, maybe the Hebrew Israelites, something. They was working with something, especially the Goody Mob. When Goody Mob was talking about soul food, they was talking about their music is for the soul and shit. But Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music is a classic. I believe it got, if not 4.5, it might have got 5 mics in the Source. I know it got a great rating in the Source, so it was no need to be doing that. And they came out live, man. And I remember their first video, man. Them niggas is rocking baseball jerseys, polo, and furry Kangos and shit like that. There was no reason. There was nothing corny about them. So they shouldn't have been treated like that. But nevertheless, I looked at the video and I screenshotted a thumbnail from the video. That was Big Gipp standing behind Andre. So Gipp strikes me as somebody who's a lot more outspoken than Andre, and he's going to say what the fuck is on his mind. But as far as the comparison, Mobb Deep won the comparison based on what I'm seeing in the comments, and it wasn't New York and Atlanta that pushed my decision. It was the cities outside of those regions that pushed it. He said, "Bro, are you a rapper?" Nah, man, I'm a CEO. I put out a video this weekend, and y'all was saying it was the video about Antoine Massey, and somebody said, "Damn, your diamond's shining brighter than the rappers and shit." These ain't rapper diamonds. These is chief executive officer diamonds. There's a different level of carat put into these. You know what I'm saying? So if you want, I hope that answered your question and shit. But no, I'm not a rapper, man. I'm not. I'm a CEO. You got it? Anyway, Outkast and Goody Mob was dope when they first came out. Facts. Who's the last newest platinum or sold out tour from New York rapper outside of Nicki? People ain't doing them shows like that no more, man. The people that you speak of, I don't know. I think more so concerts that get big promotions. It's not the people of that generation. It's not people from the 90s. You got Little Baby and NBA Youngboy and all of them types of dudes. They the ones that get big promotions because kids is gonna go to that shit. But the people that you speaking of selling out a show, we didn't seen them niggas perform 1,000 times. We didn't seen Rockefeller perform. We didn't seen Hove perform. We didn't seen different members of Wu-Tang and the Wu perform. We didn't seen everybody. We didn't seen Ja Rule. We didn't seen everybody. So after you didn't seen a nigga once or twice, man, I mean, that ain't no big thing. I think if somebody was to tour right now that would get a good response, it would probably be Cash Money, but it would have to be all of them. It would have to be all of them together. Gipp was the oldest because in the 2010s, nobody from the South sold 9 million records. 50 did that in the 2000s. Dungeon Family was influenced by Malachi York. I believe that because I picked up on they was always kicking some black shit. They was always kicking some thorough shit. They was thorough, yo. They was thorough. They had their own. They was thorough for real. And the ones that stood out was Homeboy Who Lost His Leg. What was his name? And CeeLo. I thought all of them played their part, but dude that lost his leg, who had the voice, he lost his leg. He ended up losing a leg. What's his name? The New York East Coast arrogance is what booed them. I agree with you. Cujo, him and CeeLo, they was bringing that shit. They was. That dude stood out like a motherfucker. That who's that peeping in my window? Yo, blazing hot. He stood out. He was giving that up. Big Rube is on PILLMATIC 1. Big Rube is the intro on PILLMATIC 1. He said, I like Sleepy Brown too. Make sure you go check out my interview I did with Sleepy Brown. CeeLo said he was originally the third member of Outkast. So, sticking to the topic, I understand now why that shit happened. The resentment. While New York and the West Coast was at war, Tupac and Biggie, the South still has some type of vendetta all of these years. They did. It's unaddressed. I don't think the second and third generations, I would say the second generation was like Jeezy and T.I. and them, and then the third generation would be Future and Rich Homie Quan and all of them and shit. I don't think they picked up that acrimony, but certain people that would be from the Goody Mob, Outkast era, which was the 90s, the mid-90s, probably felt some type of way. I'm sticking to my theory about people from Atlanta having a biased ear. I'm sticking to that. There's some people who probably from the South that probably enjoy, you know, Nas, Wu-Tang, AZ, Boot Camp Click, the Lost Boys. There's some people that probably enjoy that. But they don't have a really big market. And I'm going to tell you something else, right? I didn't lived in Atlanta, I done lived in New York. You will hear Southern music on the radio in New York. You're not going to hear that shit down south. You're not going to hear that shit down south. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? You'll hear South. That's one of the first things I noticed when I started being in the city a lot. I'm like, yo, they play a lot of fucking down south music up here on Hot 97. I'm like, damn. In Atlanta, you're not going to hear that shit. You're not going to hear it. You're not. You're not. I'm serious. He said, in Houston, we have our own stars. Theodore said, I live down south. That's facts. In the 90s, I heard Big Pun on Memphis radio. Gipp was mad at Luda for collaborating with East Coast artists. Jesus Christ. My older brother has a biased ear because you can't tell him Jay-Z better than Scarface. That's not really a bias. Jay-Z once said, I think it was in Change Clothes, he said he is to the East Coast what the Snoop is, to the West Coast what Face is to Houston. So he was basically acknowledging regional greats and shit. But just to put it in perspective, before anybody was a fan of Jay-Z, before anybody was a fan of Nas, before anybody was a fan of Wu-Tang, we listened to NWA and the Ghetto Boys. So Scarface is he's kind of like in a class by himself. If you pay attention to greats that came from the East Coast, it was like it was their bucket list to collaborate with him. Face is on Nas records, Nas albums, think Favor for a Favor. He's on his Can't Be Life with Jay-Z. He might have did more. But Face was official. Face. So people who say that, you know, that's not unheard of for somebody to say that Face is better than Ho or something like that. Yeah. Aquemini is the best album that come out of the South. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm going to open the hotline in just a minute. Antonio Anderson, my man, welcome to Dribble God Elite. I don't think Aquemini was better than 400 Degrees by Juvenile. Can I get a witness? I'm opening up this hotline in a minute. Y'all gonna be able to say it live. Hello? Hello? Is Aquemini better than 400 Degrees by Juvenile? Scarface. I got a yes. 400 Degrees, hands down. See? 400 Degrees is a classic. They said no. 400 Degrees wins. He said that's a hard one. 400 Degrees wins. It does. He said, hell no. 400 Degrees is fire. Two different eras. Them is not two different eras. Those are not two different eras. Don't do that. What year did Aquemini came out around the time of 400 Degrees. They was within like a year or two apart. Aquemini, 400 Degrees. Moderators, I need some help. What year did Aquemini come out? I know that I was listening to 400 Degrees in 1998. What year did Aquemini come out? 98. 98. Do 98. Both albums are 98. Thank you. Accuracy. accuracy. You see how he tried to put that down, talk about some his two different eras? They both came out in 98. Nobody was bigger than Juvenile back then. 98, Juvenile was like, Juvenile just, he did, to the point Hove had to get on that, you a paper chaser, you got a block on fire, remain in the G. Aha. Hove did the remix for Ha. He was that big. I can't go with that. Aquemini was, I know it wasn't. Aquemini wasn't getting more spins, not around my way, than 400 Degrees. I'm serious. Both came out in 98. He said 400 Degrees gets the party lit. Oh my God. Until then, I'm going to be thugging behind the project building. I'm about to open this chat line. Hold on. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Big Gipp, he, of course, he has reasons to feel. He got reason to feel the way he feel, y'all. He does. He has reason to feel the way he feels. If you look at the thumbnail on this video, Gipp was present the night that Andre 3000 took to the stage to accept an award, and he said the South has something to say. He seemed pretty upset. Gipp was standing right behind him. I never noticed that until today, that Gipp was standing right there. He was. Anyway. Who sold the most? Aquemini, moderators. Who sold the most? Aquemini or 400 Degrees? Help me out. Aquemini or 400 Degrees? Let's see if we can apply some mathematics here. 400 Degrees was fire. That was my shit, but I'm from Atlanta. To this day, 400 Degrees is better. 400 is in every street nigga top 10. $400 Degrees, 5 times platinum. Sheesh. Let me tell y'all something. 400 Degrees is so hot. The Juvenile just did a video for... He just did a video for something, just like a year. What video did he just do? He just did, it might have been 400 Degrees, the song 400 Degrees. 400 stopped time in 1998. Didn't Juvenile just do a video for that shit? He did a video for 400 Degrees. He did a video for 400 Degrees like 30 years later, and it was hot. Nobody does that. That's a trailblazing song. Juvenile, 400 Degrees for the win. For y'all in here saying that Aquemini was this and it was that, you called it a Southern classic. I'm not saying that it was a summer classic. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't a classic, but I know that it wasn't bigger than 400 Degrees. Moderators, put this number in the hotline. I want to hear from y'all. Shout out to members only, man. I just was watching you earlier. 201-233-7524. Call in, talk to the dribble. Was back that ass up on 400 Degrees? I don't know. I can't remember. Grillchy party. Talk to the dribble.
Gully, what up?
What's happening?
I was in Atlanta. I had just touched down around 96, 97, so I seen Master P take off around that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I was messing with a chick from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I went down there in 98.
Yeah.
That's when I first heard BG. And I said, yo, because you know an East Coast nigga got that bias off top.
Yeah.
You're not trying to hear it.
Yeah. You hold on. You mentioned Master P and you just mentioned BG. That's two different Atlanta groups. I mean, two different New Orleans groups. But go ahead, make your point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that's when it started getting hot. Outkast was already Outkast.
Yeah.
But the thing that made Juvenile stand out over all of that was it was real street shit.
Yeah.
And it was the real hip-hop in they way. New Orleans got a different swagger with it. So,
yeah.
But it's the streets though. So we always related to that shit from even if you up top anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Juvenile had that shit at that time.
I was loving that
did
shit.
What they do, but they was established.
Yeah, I was loving that shit. And then when I found out the story behind 400 Degrees. A lot of those songs, like the song Rich Niggas and all of that, boy, look, niggas don't play no games no more. Nigga, bust your head if you bang it. He was battling against Mystical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
It was raw. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was raw.
Yeah.
It was raw as fuck. That's why it's like Master P had like kind of the commercial shit.
Yeah.
He had the catchy shit, you know, the dope shit and all of that.
Yeah.
Make him say, and he had the dropping the album every week.
Yeah.
That was different. But No Limit, they had the actual quality of the streets. Like, they quality was a little better. So
Yeah.
I can't put Outkast versus Juvenile because they both of that cloth.
Yeah.
But that year, I'll say it was very close because Outkast was definitely ringing off. Again, I was in Atlanta traveling to New Orleans, traveling to New York, traveling to Philly. So
Yeah.
I'm getting all perspectives. Up top was still up top. We still had some shit coming out. But
Yeah.
Atlanta and New Orleans, it was close. Because that Skewered on the Barbie.
I was just about to mention that. I remember sitting at home. I was actually on the run when I first seen that video. And when Raekwon came on that stage and started ripping, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, they get it now. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm like, they're going to get it now because people wasn't fucking with Outkast all like that. But yeah, once they seen him with Ray, you official. It's over.
You official.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to speak my piece on that. But peace, yo. I'm going to let you pass.
Appreciate you calling in. Thanks a lot.
All right, peace.
Yeah. Call in and talk to the dribble. 201 Vegas. You was just burning me out. Call back. 201-233-7524. Talk to the dribble. What up?
Man, you already know what it is, Gully. My nigga, what's happening?
We ain't here talking this hip hop shit, doing what we do.
Man, you know it, man. It's Bill the Boss, man. Hey, man, you already know, man. The niggas can't act crazy like Manny Fresh ain't have everybody in the chokehold. Let's not skip Manny fucking Fresh. First off, that nigga did every song that every one of us on this motherfucking stream heard.
Yeah.
Nigga, every beat, every production, every telling the nigga to say it this way.
Yeah.
Come on, man. My 9 is gonna die with. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
So you got 400 Degrees for the win?
Man, listen, we can't forget about Country Grammar. Now, let's do that for the win. Fuck Goody Mob. Them Country Grammar sold more than all them combined, but
it did.
Can rival Country Grammar because of the impact.
Yeah.
Because of the impact.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Nigga, New Orleans and St. Louis like twin cousins. We right off the Mississippi like each other, nigga.
No
you
doubt.
Know what I'm saying? There's one hand in hand, but Manny Fresh and Juvenile for the win, my nigga.
For the win.
CeeLo and them, they did a lot, but they ain't do what they did.
Yeah. Appreciate you calling in. Thanks a lot, pimp.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
All right.
Pittsburgh, talk to the dribble. What's up?
What's happening, brother?
I already know how that 400 Degrees was doing down the Berg. Go ahead and tell them about it.
Listen, I was on the bus to Birmingham, Alabama, for a conference in '98, and my homie had his Walkman on.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, what you listen to? He said, that Cast. And so wild because Outkast on that Aquemini album had that skit. They said, oh man, that Cast, man. Let me say, Genie, that weird stuff. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And I told my homie the same thing. I said, yo, I don't want to hear that Cast, man. They own some others. They said, listen, put this on. I put that Aquemini on, and it felt like I was on a journey.
Definitely.
Of sounds, words, pictures. Like I was visually seeing sounds, and like this. I heard growth, and I heard something different. The 400 Degrees spoke to the heart of the streets.
Definitely.
But that Cast took you on the journey.
Yeah.
Of like, no, you're seeing grown men mature and go through something, and teach you something. And it seemed like there was songs like even that Andre was talking about certain things about breast enhancements and body enhancements, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was going on, and you know, and people having taken pills to have multiple kids. Like Andre was taking you somewhere as well. And there's that skit that was the song when with Big Boys. Like this was supposed to be on the first album, but we kept it off. And he takes you on a song like that. Aquemini just was from front to back, it just took you somewhere.
It was some shit on there that wasn't heard before. I remember the first time I heard that. I don't know whether it was like interlude or something, but the beat be like
Oh, Delicious with the trumpet.
yeah, with the trumpet. I remember when I first heard that shit, I was like, that shit funky as hell.
Listen, because part of us as a people, we love instruments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not just we love instruments, you know what I'm saying? So when you heard a trumpet, you're like, yo, do you hear the way? Then Andre's verse about, talking about the club, say it's really about 3 a.m. or something, and, there's a fight outside. Somebody got sliced up, and somebody talking about who else want to mess with Hollywood Court.
Yeah.
Like, they're showing you, like, real Atlanta.
Yeah.
And just us as listeners, we just had appreciation for the rawness of what they were showing us in their prime. Like, listen, Cast is here. They heard the criticism. They heard it. They're here. And it took you somewhere where you didn't expect the album to go.
Nah, that shit was sonic. That was a sonic gift. It kind of reminded me, in appearance, the clothes that they started to wear, like, it was like right. George Clinton did a hip-hop album and shit. Like, it was just funky as hell. It was something that hadn't been heard before. For real.
Right.
So.
That album just added to my thought was 98 the best year for hip-hop albums. You know what I'm saying? Because so many classics came out in that year alone, right? Which one would you put? I can't argue against any one of them. Yeah. Whatever you like is what you like. I would never argue down on that.
Nah, that year was crazy, man. I was still getting heavy. I was just getting out of jail. I came home. I think I was 18 in '98, or I might have been 19 in '98 or something like that. And I remember coming home. I brought all of my Source magazines, and I just kept looking at them over and over and over. You had DMX, you had Noriega, you had Hove. Yeah, Black Rob, like, it was just so much shit in there, man. I'll never forget that year. Very, very wonderful year for hip-hop. I got to take another call. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. Peace. Motown, talk to the dribble. What's up?
Check this out. This Priest guy ain't calling. I'm an equal Detroit baby, an East Side Stone Mountain baby, and I was in Atlanta while I was being built. Cash came out. So let me say this again, mine like the chronic, right?
Yeah.
Check this out. This was spilled over into the music for this conversation. I'm class of 99, Stone Mountain High School. Swiss Beats went to school with us. He went to Stone Mountain.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So watch this. What spilled over into the music with this North and South thing was this. When New York niggas in the 90s, who parents was a little bit well off, and moved them to Atlanta, them niggas, a lot of them niggas were weak. Them niggas were pussy niggas back where they came from. So what they did is when they came to high school with us in the South, they reinvented themselves. They took on attributes of their cousins who was tough in New York and tried to push that down South. Yeah. So watch this. Yo, you bum ass niggas in a cutlass and a white t-shirt. You niggas get an accurate beat. It's the 90s Atlanta. So this is what's being built. Yo, you bum ass, that bum ass nigga got on some Reeboks with gummy soles and a white tee. Yeah. So what I'm telling y'all is the gist of this that spilled over into the music for these discussions was this. The up north niggas in the 90s who parents said, I want something different for y'all, and a lot of them was good kids. Some of them niggas was bad motherfuckers. But most of them was niggas who was suckers. And when their parents got them to the South, they took on attributes of their cousins and shit that was tough in New York. Yeah. And they came down there pushing that shit in Atlanta.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is they brought some arrogance with them.
They not only did they bring the arrogance, we ain't got a problem with that. We all fly niggas, but you ain't who you say you is. And when South niggas was testing your jaw, that's when it got different. And I'm going to leave it at this. That shit I'm talking about was so real. Anybody in the chat, anybody from the South, especially Atlanta, y'all remember in the 90s, the last week of school, every school in Atlanta, we had North, South fights. That was
oh, that was all over the world. Last day of school, you gonna get this word for sure.
It was New York versus Atlanta. So all I called in and say, G, is this. Yeah, with their rap shit, it is what it is. But here go the base of it. Sucker niggas from up north, they was making New York and up north look bad because these y'all suck ass cousins y'all used to smack around who moved to Atlanta. Yeah. They came to Atlanta trying to play y'all, and that's where the distaste come from, my nigga.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm up out here, Pimp.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk to the dribble. Where you from?
I'm from Baltimore. It's legal to study, man. What's going on?
What's happening, man? How you feel about the topic tonight is maybe the people from the South, they had some reason to feel some type of way all these years in hip hop based on some disrespect that was displayed at the 94 Source Awards. How you feel about this discussion that we having right now?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. You know, coming from Baltimore, not up north, but you know, we close to the New York for real. So, like, New York always had this thing, like, where they kink type shit for real. You feel me?
Say that again.
I said New York always had. I said, you know, New York always had this thing where they like king of hip hop.
Okay, yeah.
So they have that arrogance. I mean, you know, it quote unquote started there for real. So, you know, they deserve to feel how they feel.
Yeah.
But the South, like they said, they got a voice too. But I'm gonna get specifically to 1998 because that's what I call.
Okay.
Right. 1998, when they made 400 Degrees, BG had just got locked up at that time. BG was supposed to be the first person that got pushed on Cash
Money. Okay. I think I heard that before.
But, so he got arrested, and they had to push Juvenile.
Yeah.
They didn't know how big that album was going to be.
Yeah.
That was a part of the stuff that pushed the machine for them to make Bling Bling.
Oh yeah, for sure. Juvenile. Hell yeah.
Right. So like that's a big turn, and look how long Cash Money run been since then, since 1998.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Like
and I just have to interject this because this is how I feel. People always say Lil Wayne, right? I know people that they had a show like maybe a year or so ago, and most of them was there. I believe Wayne was there too. They said Juvenile shut that shit down. I feel that Wayne might have made more money and got more commercial appeal, but in my opinion, the music and the impact, I feel that I think Juvenile is the dude from Cash Money. I do. I really feel like that.
I'm going to say this. Juvenile music aged better than Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm a Lil Wayne fan. Like, that's one of my top. I'm 34, so, like, that's my generation.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne, Lil Boosie, you know, that generation, that age right there. So, but, yeah, 1998, we was doing, that was DMX. I was 7. My cousins had me outside, shirt off in the projects. we run around going crazy on the fire hydrant and all that.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like 400 degrees and it's dark and hell is hot.
No doubt. They rule. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for calling in, man. Shout out to Baltimore, man. Be more careful, man. Pennsylvania Avenue is always love, man. Thank you.
All right.
Diddy Bop, I appreciate your super chat. What up, though, Gully? I was at an old school review, and Uncle Luke and Juvenile had the mamas and aunties out, the crowd on stage on all fours, and the floor was lifting niggas off their feet. Man, you ain't got to tell me, man. You ain't got to tell me, man. I went to college in 2000, so they was still playing a lot of Juvenile 400 Degrees in college and shit. And when Juvie came on, man, people know what's up. We got to this point because someone was saying that Aquemini was the all-time Southern classic, and I said I don't think it's better than 400 Degrees, but word. I appreciate y'all for calling in, man. Next caller, what's up? He was literally the oldest. Richmond, talk to the dribble. What you got to say?
Yo, I gotta be real, Gully.
Let's hear it.
We used to disrespect the South, man. We used to really disrespect the South. I had a few cousins that used to come up. I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
But you know, I live in Richmond now, Virginia, but I'm from Newark, and my cousins used to come up, and they used to bring, you know, their music, and I was like, what is that garbage? Like, and they would look at me like, yo, this hot, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
That shit is garbage. So I can understand why Gipp feel the way he feel, and a lot of Southern dudes feel the way they feel, because we was shitting on them, bro. Like, if it didn't sound like New York or Philly or Jersey, we wasn't trying to hear it.
Yeah.
So I can understand what they feeling, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I believe each region carries their own level of prejudice or bias. Each region like their own shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But traditionally, we've heard these stories over and over because hip hop was essentially, for the most part, people say it was created in New York City. They feel like they are in possession of it, and they are the governing body. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like you said, man, it was some disrespect. And
a lot.
People who wasn't trying to hear other music, you missed out. You just missed out.
That's a fact.
You did.
That's a fact. Because y'all brought up the album Aquemini.
Yeah.
Now I always loved Scarface. Scarface, he that nigga. We know what Scarface do.
Yeah.
But when I listen to the Aquemini album, I'm like, yo, these niggas is really killing it. Like, they got it now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though with the accent they had, at one time I couldn't get over that accent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they was spitting, so I'm like, yo, they really got it. And even if you look at Wayne, when Wayne, like, to me, the best album Wayne ever made is the Carter 2. But if you notice, he was sounding like niggas from New York.
That's because allegedly Gully was behind him at that time. But
yeah.
That's what they were saying.
I kind of believe that a little bit, because he was sounding like he was from where we from. So
yeah.
But they people know where it was created. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that everybody, you know what I'm saying, West Coast, East Coast, the South, the North, we all together with it now, because everybody got something to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm feeling it now.
No doubt. It belonged to all of us. And it was intended to be that way. Hip hop is universal. It belonged to all of us.
Exactly.
Everybody got a contribution. Jersey, I appreciate you calling in, man. Shout out to Richmond.
No doubt.
Yeah. Franchise says everybody hates New York. Nah, Wayne jacked Jewels and Jim Ho style and ran with it. That's when he got hot. Pittsburgh, talk to the dribble. What's up?
Man, what's the deal, guy? Listen, I said I'm from Pittsburgh.
I know it.
Homewood.
Homewood.
400 degrees changed my neighborhood, yo.
Mine too.
we became baby New Orleans, man. like that shit became the Bible to us.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like till this day. And another thing about that shit is, Cash Money is easily a top 3 group of all time. Like, nobody talks about, like, the Hot Boys, this period. Them niggas, they can stand on the stage with any group from any side from any coast, bro.
I won't dispute that. I won't dispute that. I'm serious. Yeah.
And all them niggas longevity is crazy. I mean, you can discredit Turk, but besides Turk, all them niggas catalog and longevity is crazy. Ain't too many groups that could. Jadakiss my favorite rapper all time. D Block as a whole can't fuck with the Hot Boys, bro. A lot of people might argue that. But
You talk about musically.
We're talking about longevity, catalog. We ain't talking about.
I agree with you. I don't care what nobody say. I agree with you. I agree with you.
They blow Dip's head out the water. They blow bro. Hot Boys blow a lot of groups out the fucking water. Like, all them niggas could headline some shit. Like, BG is sell out any club, any hood, anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, he might can't sell out an arena, but ain't too many people. What, BG got like 14, 15 albums, bro.
And he got a cult following. He got like cities that like BG like got Detroit under siege. Like, them niggas love him there. Like,
and he stayed strong after Cash Money.
Yeah.
He ain't fold. He like after Cash Money. What? He turned up Harder Streets too. Like, bro, like ain't too many people fucking with Hot Boys, bro. Like, that's just all I wanted to call and say,
I appreciate you, and I agree with you, man. Like, I can't stress enough that I got an unbiased ear. I listen to hip hop from all over the map, but and one of my little cousins is the one that his name Ike. He the one that put me on a Juvenile and that 400 Degrees shit. He had that shit in my house for like a week or so, and I kept looking at the cover, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is this? And I started to listen to it, and I've been down ever since, man, for real.
Man, I was in school, and niggas kept talking about a Juvenile song.
Yeah.
We thinking like Juvenile kid song. Like, what the fuck you mean a kid? Like, what, a kid?
Yeah.
It's a kid song? No, that was the beginning. Cash Money took over from the 99, all that shit. That was the beginning of all, you know what I'm saying? Them
It
niggas
was.
took over.
Yeah.
And to this day, they still carrying that torch, bro. That's they're the best group of all time. They can argue that. Through the heroin, through the 10 years federal bench and all that shit.
Yeah, they still around. Yeah, they survived.
Still around, man.
Appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man.
Nova Kane 943. I appreciate the super chat. Killer Mike made a joint around 99 saying rap is dead. Nobody took it in any way. When Nas dropped hip hop is dead, people got mad and offended. Hip hop ain't never been dead, man. It's never been dead. What happened was it moved from region to region. It might have been when Nas said hip hop was dead, it might have been dead in New York. It wasn't dead in Atlanta. It wasn't dead in New Orleans. Them niggas in Houston and Texas and shit like that, they got their own world. It ain't never been dead. Whenever you see them niggas is driving them cars, them big ass rims on it. Everybody got big dumb truck jewelry on. Hip hop ain't never been dead. It hasn't, straight up. He said BG does not have Detroit on the seas. Fuck out of here. Nigga, you crazy as a motherfucker. BG was out there living or hustling or some shit. You better go ask somebody. You better go ask one of your uncles or some shit like that, man. You think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Them niggas out there love fucking BG. That's one of his cities. And when you look it up, you're going to find out he got a relationship with them niggas out there. This is documented. Get more specifically hates New York City hip-hop, not really East Coast. It's equivalent to Mike Jones hating New York hip-hop. Who cares? Salute, Gully. Been rocking with you for a while. Continue doing your thing. What's Mike Jones' beef with the East Coast? People didn't like that. I'm Mike Jones. People can say what they want to say about Mike Jones, right? That Still Tipping shit is a motherfucking classic. That's a banger. Them niggas got the fuck off. Who was it? Slim Thug, Mike Jones, and Paul Wall. Swisher House had a nice run. They did. And if you the type of person that has a biased ear, you just missed out. That's it. We don't nobody hate you or feel that you corny or nothing. Nigga, you missed out. Go try to catch up. Be thankful that you got the internet. So when you hear somebody mentioned on this platform or you see somebody that I interview Top Authority. They from Flint, Michigan. Go catch up to that. I interviewed the Dayton family. Go catch up to that. I interviewed the Taylor boys from Chicago. Go catch up to that shit, man. Don't be in the dark. For real. Be thankful for the internet, man. This is like an online university, man. If it's something that you don't know, you can turn on YouTube, man, and get down. For real. He's just saying that Mike Jones is such a non-factor. Gipp is the equivalent of Mike Jones. I don't think you can put Gipp and Mike Jones in the same boat. Gipp has been on classic songs, man. Gipp is on Cell Therapy, right? Ain't Gipp on You Need to Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something? I Need Some Help Here. Ain't Gipp on You Need to Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something? He is, right? Right, that's what I thought. Ain't he on Cell Therapy? You can't compare Gipp and Mike Jones. Gipp put in the work, yo. Gipp put in the work. He has. And this one video when he got this fur just blowing all in the wind, this colorful ass fur, man. I can't remember the name of it, but you can't put him and Mike Jones in the same category. And I appreciate Mike Jones's contribution to hip hop. He had a moment, man. That nigga Mike Jones had motherfuckers calling his phone, and he was answering that shit. Do y'all know that was his Sky High? Sky High, yeah, that's the joint. Listen, Motherfuckers was calling Mike Jones' phone, and that nigga was answering that shit. That shit was that was his real number at a point in time. Did y'all know that? Y'all bugging, yo. He said, I never heard somebody say throwing that Gipp. Gipp is a part of a group. I don't think he ever did a solo project or nothing like that. I'm from 6 Mile, and I've been in a spot with BG before. Don't forget E40 go crazy in the D also. Diddy Bop, I appreciate your super chat, man. I already, the niggas done told me BG was hanging out there and shit on the block with niggas in clubs in after hours with no security. You know what I'm saying? Jewelry on and shit out there nodding off that dope. Can't tell me, man. I don't know what I'm talking about, man, in terms of that. Prodigy featuring BG, YBE, Young Black Entertainers. The numbers still work. Paul Wall just said that in a recent interview. Gipp had a solo joint? Okay, I wasn't down with it. Payroll is the best from Detroit and Bodie James. Yeah, they said he was out there nodding off that Motown dope, man. BG bought him a bag of dope everywhere he went, man. He did. He did. BG always came to the hood of Lower East Side, New York City. BG was allowed to be in Detroit. Got it. Miami, Florida, what you got to say?
What's up, Gully? This ain't Miami, man. Carolina Hustler checking in.
Okay, Carolina, talk to the dribble. What's up?
All right, now give me 3 minutes, because I'm glad, man. One thing I love about you, I love how your journalistic skills, bro, is unmatched.
I love this shit.
I gotta drop this right here, man, and I'm glad you posted this. Number one, let's get to the point with this here. Of course, us down south cats, we feel some. Down south cats don't hate New York dudes like you think. But the thing of it is this: New York cats always try to act like they're better than us. When you look at their legends ain't nothing but Carolina hustlers.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying?
I believe that.
From the swag they got, from the scooters, Haitian Jack Homeboy, Carolina.
You talking about all them niggas. Nah, that's facts. That's facts.
That's fact. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? So when you look at what the basics of hip-hop was brought up on as far as what it turned into, as far as just hustling and getting money, it came from the South.
I gotta agree with you. Frank Matthews is from North Carolina. Ike Atkinson is from North Carolina.
Bumpy Johnson, Kevin Charles, Scooter. I mean, what's the dude that gave Rich Porter them bricks? Fritz.
Fritz, yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so you got to keep in mind, like, so you remember, like, I'm around your age, maybe a little younger than you. So I got a bunch of cousins out of Harlem and shit. And I remember these dudes coming down and talking. And I used to be looking at these dudes like, man, you punk ass. Like, you feel me? But they have ran with this narrative for so long.
Yeah.
Like, they've been better than us. And Gully, and for any listener, I'm from the South.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype what they say. They came down here and got tricked out that bag. It wasn't all peaches and cream. Don't let the boys tell you them foolish lies, bro. I mean,
Nah. I used to live in Norfolk, Virginia, man. I seen how they give it up.
I don't even consider Virginia the South, bro. I didn't even go down to DMV, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even consider that the South. You feel me? Like, now, you got to keep in mind, not everything that changed, they acting like they down south. Nah, y'all wasn't rolling with us back in the days, bro. They was acting like they was fly.
Who, Virginia?
Yeah.
Virginia niggas, Norfolk, I can speak 5, man. Them niggas live, and I
ain't saying they ain't.
I was down there in 88, 89, man. Them niggas was killing up shit, man. Niggas who came there to hustle from out of town, man, they was putting them niggas in boxes, man.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. You know who South people relate to as far as Northern. A South person get along with a Philly person more than he gets along with a New York dude in you know what I'm saying, any day of the week. I'm being honest. A Philly person and a down south person. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, because you know, Philly dude at times, even though he's a city dude, you know, sometimes he has a city yet. Even when you listen to him talk or whatever at times, you know what I'm saying? Hell, and you ride in Philly, you see a dude coming down the street in the shed.
Let me tell you something, right? I don't know if you know this. Everything that you saying, Philly niggas will say that about New York. And New Jersey niggas will say, New Jersey is right across the bridge, and they'll say them niggas is hating on us too.
Yeah, believe that. But Gully, let's be real. And let me tell you, Gully, I mess with you, brother. Listen, I could quote, I'm a real hip hop head, bro. I could quote every lyric from Raekwon to Capital Punishment to DMX, The Prodigy, HNIC. I mean, these is all joints I still play.
Yeah.
Man, down south, I'm gonna tell you, if you want to know who the dudes, the down south cats always love Jadakiss. They love DMX. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of Raekwon, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the things of it is this, bro. Like, they got out there and they tried to play us. Like you say, the Source Awards, man. You seen that boy?
I seen it. I watched it before I got on here, man. I thought that was some sucker shit.
About to cry, that boy said, boy, I'm going to show you boys, boy, we got something to say.
He said he was about to cry. He did look like he was under duress.
But you got to look at it, bro. You know you spitting straight fire, man, and these people play you like that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Think about you on stage, bro, and you know you drop some heat.
Yeah.
And these people sit up here and play you like that, like you some man.
It was uncalled for. It was
I
uncalled
want to
for.
say this for the record. Let's be clear. Don't just talk about cash money. Master P showed the boys how to get money. Master P ran up a bag and Jay-Z was still running around with James and Biggs. You feel me?
Can't disqualify Master P from the conversation. For real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? We got love for New York cats or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They all washed up now. They be coming running down south. Go back up the road, man. You running up the track.
Man, get off this line, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you. Jamar, what's up, man? I see you in the chat. That what I said about, I done interviewed everybody. I done heard niggas from Jersey, like, man, we used to rob them niggas when they used to come over here to Newark, or when they would come over here to Cop, they used to come over by the skating rink, we was robbing them niggas, man. Like, so that whole acrimony for New York, that's several places got that. I guess it's New York got a superiority complex, man. They kicked off hip hop, man. It was a time when all the relevant rappers was from New York, until like it started to spread, till like NWA came out and the Ghetto Boys came out. Nobody meant anything in rap outside of New York for a long time, for real. He said that's why the Outlaws roll for Pac. All right, I hear you. And Outkast outsold a plethora of New York artists. That's what the South had to say. They got their lick back, man. They got their lick back. Lucrative Seti, I appreciate your super chat. Our interactions with New York motherfuckers in New Jersey didn't go well for them back in the day. I had it rough when I first moved down south, Merck Mecca. I used to live in Norfolk, Virginia, 88. I went to school down there. I was in the 6th grade. They used to have this news special that came on the news called Tidewater War on Drugs, and they would tell about the drug wars that was going on. They used to be at war down there with guys from New York because they had a lot of projects. They called the projects in Norfolk parks, and they were some notorious parks like Young's Park, Rob's Park, Taylor, Bowling Green. I know the names of these parks because I used to play basketball for Norview, and we used to have to go to these parks. And I was staying in the projects called the Point Terrace. They call it the Hole. Compared to the Point Terrace, compared to them parks like Young's Park and all that shit, them shits was... That shit was another world going to play them niggas in basketball. Like, I'm serious. That shit was another world, man. We be getting off the bus and shit, man. Be fiends out there nodding and shit, man. Like, it was just right outside the community centers would be right in the projects, like not down the street. Not down the street. They community centers would be in the goddamn projects. So we going to the projects to play these niggas in basketball. And it was that shit was something else. For real. I'm from New York. I'm from Newport News, from Baltimore, Richmond, Portsmouth. They the worst cities. I noticed that some of those cities got a reputation. Like after I moved away, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Hampton. I said this to my man, Ambassador Rick, and Virginia Beach. They wasn't like that in the 80s. They wasn't. Them shits was. I'm pretty sure they had real niggas and shit, but Norfolk was on a whole nother level back then. For real. The rest of them cities probably ended up catching up, but Norfolk was on another level. Straight up. Them South niggas is mad weird. We already showed their music love. They mad at a whole coast over some execs that probably wasn't even from the East Coast. Them down south projects in the 80s and 90s was hell. They projects used to have their own little they would have a laundromat, like a laundry room in the projects. If you didn't have a washer and dryer, they had a laundry room in the projects. Like you had to walk down there, you put quarters and shit in them. Them shits was like dungeons, man. I used to hate going down there to wash clothes. I used to hate that shit. I used to hate that shit, for real. New York is wild, but when they left to go to other cities, there was a lot of boxes going back to New York, too. I know that. I know that. Make sure y'all go to my website, therealdribble.com, and get the trifecta, man. You need that push in the gym. You trying to get your dribble right. One of the outstanding qualities of this is that it enhances circulation, which leads to a surge in your libido. So step your game up, man. Go to therealdribble.com and get this herbal cocktail, man. It's all natural ingredients on the back. You could look those up. Shout out to everybody who been copping. This is how I look like this, man. I be in that gym, man. Some of y'all in the 40 range, 35, 40. Your body stops making as much testosterone as it once did. This is a testosterone stimulant. This will have your ass running back to the gym. Have your ass bouncing your girl off of walls, too. Straight up. What's up with Jim Jones? I don't know, man. Trizzer Nation, man. Take two capsules every day, man. And get your dribble right, man. I'm here for y'all. For real. If Charlie G said if you didn't sound like New York, you were considered a Bama. That's DMV talk. That's Virginia and DC, the Bamas. Yeah. Do you think T-Mac would have got a ring with Shaq? Of course. There's nowhere like New York City. It's still the greatest city on earth. You can tell because ninjas from nondescript towns got to gang up and hate on the greatness. I got a rebuttal for that. Whenever I'm away from New York City, I sometimes, it escapes me, right? Sometimes I forget real briefly until I go back to the city. And you reminded right away it's the greatest city on earth. You know what I'm saying? It's the greatest city. Man, you can get anything you want to eat all hours of the night, man. 4 in the morning, you want lasagna? You can't get that 4 in the morning nowhere else in the world. Spaghetti, 4 in the morning. Breakfast, 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Seafood out free. They got 24 hours seafood spots. Crab boils, and you go in the... It's no place like that. And then the bitches. Man, it ain't nothing like... Man, the bitches from New York City, man, they be stepping different, man. For real. Not the ones that y'all be seeing online acting like dudes and shit like that, man. I'm talking about them ones you hear their heels coming down the street. Bitches be stepping. trying to tell you. He said, food, women, drugs. He said, you are delusional. You ain't never been to the city. You ain't never been to the city, man. You want to go shopping? You probably can do that 24 hours in New York, man. You want a fur? You want some jewelry? You want a car? You know what I mean? You want an exotic bitch? You know what I'm saying? Every nationality is represented there, man. Especially the Caribbeans and shit like that. The island people, they all there, man. They call it the city that never sleeps, man. There's no reason to be in here hating on the city, man. When y'all all make it a point of going there and shit, y'all be taking y'all trips. I be seeing when y'all post y'all pictures, y'all always go to Times Square. That's how you know you don't know what the fuck you doing. Whenever a motherfucker go to New York City and start taking pictures of Times Square and post it and this shit, you know you're a tourist and you out of touch. Hey, yo, out of all of the fly shit going on in New York City, you down there on 42nd Street. Man, ain't nothing down there but the goddamn Marvel Comics characters and shit like that. Mickey Mouse and shit. Man, I see 1,000 motherfuckers go down there around them red steps and shit, taking pictures and shit, man. Like, y'all out of touch, man. Y'all gotta get you a tour guide or something, man. Come through the hood, man. And I'm serious, man. Like, White Plains Road, Fordham Road, man, Lenox Avenue, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, Ocean Ave, you know what I'm saying? Jamaica Avenue, man. Find you one, man. Find you an avenue in the city, man. Like, straight up. You could turn one corner, man, you be in Italy. Turn another corner, you in China. Turn another corner, you in Jamaica. Turn another corner, you in Trinidad. There's nothing like that shit, yo. Straight up. Straight up. You want some real Rasta food, man, Ocean Ave in Brooklyn, man, or you go to the Bronx. Straight up trying to tell you, man. Best food in the United States. I don't give a fuck where you from, man. Y'all talk that soul food shit, they got that too. Straight up. And don't mention the man, these motherfuckers got the biggest goddamn Macy's on the planet. They Macy's got like 7 floors, man. You can't even shop in that motherfucker in one day. What street is that Macy's on, man? What street is that goddamn Macy's on? It's Macy's, right? Got like 7 floors and shit. They said Rasta Pasta. 34th Street? Man, there's too much goddamn polo for one man in that store, man. That's too much goddamn polo, man. That's too much. It's too much, man. It ain't nothing like that, man. So yeah, we not gonna do that, yo. And for your tourists and shit, man, if you plan on getting there by the train or the bus or some shit, man, as soon as you step out of Penn Station, man, that's right there by Madison Square Garden is upstairs. As soon as you step out on the avenue, man, get you an Uber, man. Go to one of the 5 boroughs, man. Get your dribble right. I'm up out of here, man. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get the notifications, man. You can catch me on here, man, from time to time. I'm going to start taking this shit in another direction, man. They say if you want to be successful, you got to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Everybody on here trying to hip-hop, sports, fashion, current events. And we probably going to have to do this health thing. Y'all got it? All right. Trifecta, therealdribble.com, man. This is the top herbal supplement in the United States, man. Look at me. Look at me. Glowing. Got my weight up and shit. They said, why you been wearing the cables lately, man? Because my neck's strong, man. I've been taking the trifecta. I'm out.